He had different reasons for marrying different women. Some he married because of their beautiful eyes, some for their sharp nose, and some for their hourglass shape, and much more. Once upon a time, there lived a man named Okuru. Okuru was a successful farmer who had made so much from his farm business. He had over 20,000 cattle, goats were innumerable, sheep and all manner of ruminant animals and non-ruminant animals. He had several bands of yam. He had several plantations. He was indeed the richest man in the entire community, and he was every young woman's dream husband in the village. He was a man who loved women. He was never satisfied with one or a few. He had different reasons for marrying different women. Some he married because of their beautiful eyes, some for their sharp nose, and some for their hourglass shape, some for their legs, and much more. So he continued to add up wives to the number until he had 155 wives and still counting. He had over 300 children. Up until his middle age, he was still getting married to younger women, and his wives were still giving birth to children. He was a man of strength and might. He took care of all his wives individually and met their needs. He was a very loving husband and a caring one at that. He was always available where his attention was needed. Because of how he took care of them, every young girl in the village wanted to be his wife. Different women wanted him for different reasons, as much as he wanted them also for different reasons. To some, they loved how cute he looked. To some, they loved him because of his wealth. Others because of how he took care of his wives. Some saw him as an escape route from poverty. Some just wanted him so they could feed fine. At least eat 3 square meals a day. Different women with different reasons. He treated them equally. Sometimes he didn't touch some of them for almost a year, especially the older ones. But he had great respect for his first wife. She was the mother of all his wives. They lived happily. As long as he provided for them, they were all comfortable and contented, as they lacked nothing. What he did for one, he did for all. There was no tension amongst the wives. If anyone had issues with her co-wife, he didn't get to the next wife. The first wife would amicably settle whatever the issue was, because there were strict rules, and defaulters were penalized and in worst cases sent back to their parents, which no one of them wanted because of the comfort, so they lived in harmony. They were all happy and comfortable with the life Okuru offered them. But amongst the wives were 2 friends, Dugo and Tata. They were numbers 70th and 71st. They became friends after they got married to Okuru. They had no children yet. They were both orphans who had no help, who agreed to marry Okuru as an escape route from poverty, so he could take care of them. Tata and Dugo weren't comfortable with the life Okuru offered them. They wanted more out of life than just being among the number. But Okuru seemed to be the best and the only option they have. Still, they had hopes for a better life and their own husbands somehow, even though they weren't sure how it would happen, but somehow they believed. One day, Tata said to Dugo, "I have a plan. You know our husband gives us small pocket money every single month. Let's save up and start a little business that will fetch us good money just like our senior wife." The first wife, Mata, has her own business, so she's the wealthiest of them all. Others just sit and eat whatever Okoro gives them. Tata continued, "When we start the business, we'll save up for a while, then run away to the city. I have a friend that lives in the city. She can help us get a small place where we'll be staying together. We can then go to school and become what we've always dreamt of." Dugo liked the idea, so they started avoiding Okoro. They didn't want pregnancy to jeopardize their plans. The friends started saving all that he gave them, and before long, they started a small business together and saved up the profit. Then Dugo said one day,
"I was thinking we should join one teacher's evening classes."
One teacher is a retired professional teacher who moved from the city to the village to open a small place where adults could go and learn to read and write. He also teaches young people who are preparing for exams. So they started attending one teacher's classes in the evening. They would go to their business place in the morning, and then by evening they would go for classes. So they continued with the hope of leaving the village soon. One day, Tata's friend Kosi came to the village from the city to see her parents. Kosi was Tata's childhood friend who left the village after her secondary school to live with her aunts in the city. She was now a graduate and was working in an oil company as a senior accountant. She decided to come spend some time with her family in the village because she has not seen them for almost 5 years now. When she arrived at the village, her mom and dad were so happy to see her. She was the only daughter they had, with 2 boys, making them 3 altogether. Later that night, while discussing with her mom, she asked after her friend Tata.
I would like to visit her tomorrow. I'm really tired right now. It was indeed a long drive.
Your friend is married.
Wow, Mom, are you serious? That's great. But I wanted her to be more than just a man's wife. It's okay, as long as she's happy, I'm happy too.
Then Kosi's mom explained to her the kind of marriage she was involved in.
Your friend is married to a man that has over 100 wives. He is the richest man in the entire community. He has almost all the young women in the community. And the most beautiful ones at that. Although he takes very good care of them, he makes sure they lack nothing. Every young girl in this community wants Okuru. Every poor person wants to use him as an escape route from poverty.
She was really speechless. She said to her mom,
I actually came to take Tata to the city with me. I promised her that I would come back for her each time I came visiting. She asked if I was ready to take her along. I always told her to pray for me and be patient. I gave her my word. Now that I can take care of her, I must fulfill my promise only if she is willing to accept it.
But her mom said to her,
she's married now. Though she doesn't have kids yet, I'm not sure she would be willing to take your offer. Mom, you and I know that she didn't marry that man because she loved him. You know her family background. I'm sure she did that to survive. If there was a better option, she would have taken it. I know, but she's already married. Why not let it go? God knows that you kept your promise by coming back for her. Okay, Mom, but I will give it a try. If she refuses, then I know that I did try.
Okay, if you insist. The next day, Kosi went to Okuru's house to look for Tata. When she got there, she met one of the wives who called Tata for her. When they saw each other, they were very happy and they hugged, holding each other tightly as they cried. What should I offer you? Tata asked. I think I've missed the bushmeat and the palm wine. I would like to have that. So she took her to a shop where Dugo was already. After eating, they started talking.
How are you doing, my friend? My mom told me everything about your marriage. I know you too well. You're not happy there. It's just the best option available, so you took it, and I'm not blaming you for it. You had dreams. What happened, my friend?
My dear, my parents died shortly after you left the last time you came visiting. I managed to finish high school, and since then I've been struggling on my own. No parents, no relatives, no friends. It hasn't been really easy. So when I saw the opportunity, like you said, I had to marry him. At least he is taking care of me. I was left alone to care for myself. But I've never stopped dreaming and hoping that it will get better. I have never accepted this as my reality or my last job. I believe somehow I'll come out. I don't know how, but I just believe that somehow I will come out because I don't want to accept this as my reality.
It's only over when you say it's over. So until you give up on life, life won't give up on you. It's all in your mind. And I'm so glad you still think this way.
Kosi said, you're still very much a motivational speaker, like you were when we were teens. They both laughed.
I promised you that I was going to return and take you as soon as I could find my feet. And I'm here to fulfill that promise.
Really? Are you serious?
Of course I am. I'm serious.
Tata was so happy. Then she told Kosi about her plan with her friend Dugo. Kosi was so excited to hear that Tata has already started the move to leave the village for a better life. I have a little request, Tata said. My friend Dugu and I have been saving for the city, just like I told you earlier. We intend to get a small house in the city. Then with your help, we can secure a job, no matter how little it is, even if it's a cleaning job. We want to go back to school, and we've started evening classes already. I can't leave Dugu here. She's also an orphan just like me. She's become the only relative I have, and I'm all she has now, so we can't leave each other. We have enough to get us a small place to start with. Just help us secure a job and we'll take care of ourselves from there. We intend to go for part-time so we can work and school at the same time, and we'll be able to pay our fees, so you don't need to bother about our fees. All we need is just help us secure a small job, no matter how little it is, that will be able to support us with the one we have already.
I'm honestly speechless. This is the best news I've heard since I came to this village. You don't need to rent an apartment. I live in a 3-bedroom flat apartment alone in the city. It's my house, I bought it. You can live with me as long as you want. We actually need cleaners in my company, and they pay pretty well. I'll talk to my boss and he will employ you, so you can save the money for school when you gain admission.
Tata's joy knew no bound. She quickly called out to Dugu and told her everything Kosi had said. Dugu shed tears of joy as she knelt down and thanked Tata. She said,
"You're not just a friend but a sister. I never had any hope of a better life. I thought this was my end, but you came and gave me hope. I'll forever be grateful to God for you. Kosi, thank you so much for agreeing to help us. God will reward your act of kindness, even to me, that you don't even know from anywhere, just because of your friend."
Kosi told them that she was leaving in 3 days' time. Meet me at Okuta Avenue as early as 6 a.m. I'll pick you up there. It's going to be a very long drive, so I have to leave very early. When she got home that night, she narrated everything they discussed to her mom. The mom was shocked.
I would never have believed that Tata still thinks this way. I'm glad you insisted on giving it a try. Now you'll be changing someone's life. What could be more fulfilling than that? I'm happy for you.
Tata and Kosi called their senior wife and told her everything the night before they left. You're our mother, and we know you want the best for us. Please, Mom, these are our plans, and we'll be leaving as early as 6 a.m. tomorrow. Martha was so happy for them. Don't worry, my daughters, you have my blessings. I'm glad you made a good choice. All I ask is that you don't forget my act of kindness towards you when you become great tomorrow. Help my children. If you can take one to the city, that one will be able to stand and bring our other siblings along gradually. I wish your younger mates will be as wise as you are to make good decisions for themselves, instead of being comfortable with the little they get from our husband. I don't know why more young girls choose to marry him, even though he is getting older, and he doesn't even touch them. As early as 5:30 a.m., they got to Okuta Avenue waiting for Kosi. Kosi arrived Okuta Avenue 5:58 a.m., so they left for the city. Okuru was about 62 years old when they left for the city. He liked Tata and Dugu so much because they were very pretty and well-mannered. He noticed their absence, but Martha stood up for them. When he waited and couldn't find them, he stopped worrying about them since they had no relatives he could go to. But once in a while, he still talked about them. Just like she promised, Kosi spoke with her boss and he agreed to employ them as full-time cleaners of the company. After working for 1 year, they both gained admission into college. Tata to study nursing and Dugu to study mass communication. They chose part-time, so they had classes in the evening and weekends. This helps them to work and take care of their fees. In their second year in school, Kosi, Tata's friend, got married to her boss in a lavish wedding. So they were alone in Kosi's house. Kosi said to them,
"Don't be in a hurry to leave. The house is all yours. You can stay for as long as you want until you're done with your school and move out on your own. I won't rent it out. Just like I left to my husband's house. You will be married before you leave this house.
They all shouted, Amen. They continued working and schooling. They got engaged to two very wealthy businessmen who were best friends in their final year in school. But as their tradition required, they needed to go back and return the bride price to Okuru since they were still traditionally and legally married to him. When they arrived the village, Okuru was in awe at their appearance. They brought lots of gifts for Martha, and they gave some to Okuru too. He forgave them for running away without his consent while still married to him. He took the bride price and blessed them to go and have their own homes. They became a lesson to the younger wives and other young women in the community, and those who were still planning to come in even though he was approaching 70. They realized that life doesn't end in the village. There's a lot more to life if you're willing to leave your comfort zone and take the risk. This stopped more wives from coming, and some started leaving to do something better with their lives. Some started businesses, and those who had relatives in different locations started leaving the village to start afresh. Okoro permitted everyone that desired to leave, and he blessed them before they left. Just as they promised Martha, they took two of Martha's daughters, leaving the two boys since they had just few months to stay in Kosi's house. They replaced themselves with Martha's two kids in their workplace and encouraged them to behave well just like they've done. After 3 months, they both got married. They rented a small apartment for Martha's two daughters and returned the keys to Kosi. They both thanked her for her kindness and hospitality. They prayed for her and left to their separate houses. Moral lessons. Everyone is okay with it doesn't mean you should be okay with it too. You could fight for more and get more out of it. Comfort zone doesn't add up. Fight for the best. Start that business. Go out and work. Do something. But by all means, don't be idle. Set your mind towards it. When you're determined to do what's right, God will send you help. It's never too late to start. You might have 2 kids already or 3. You might be a single mom, single dad. It doesn't matter where you are right now. Be hopeful and set your mind for more. Wherever you start from is your beginning, and there's no lateness in it. Push for more. Be kind to people. With every little opportunity, show love and kindness. If Martha had maltreated them, she wouldn't have been taken like a mother. Our kids wouldn't have been given a better life, which will in turn better our own life and the rest of our children because of our kindness towards Tata and Dugu. Be kind.